36 years ago, I was 10 years old when Top Gun hit the theater. I remember later on when I got into college, I was still watching Top Gun. My roommate had bought a Pioneer Laserdisc player. Now that was back when home theater was kind of really just evolving. We had just gotten to the point to where we had really good audio for home theater. AC3 was introduced. That was the codec at that time. I, being the home theater guy, or at least music guy at that point, I didn't have a full home theater. I had a pair of DCM 12-inch speakers. Now these were three-way speakers, tweeter, mid-range, and a big honking 12-inch woofer that honestly delivered some pretty remarkable bass for back in its day. And so I remember being in our dorm room on the weekends, and we would be watching Top Gun. Now granted, it was a really small display. It was probably like, I don't know, 30 inches or so. 32 was kind of a big screen back in the day. But I remember watching that movie and just being absolutely mesmerized by the speed, by the power, by the authority that the jet displayed in that movie. Absolutely awe-inspiring. So much so, even prior to that, in high school, when I was in probably 10th grade, I remember we had all the recruiters from the Army, Navy, Marines, all of them. And I would walk by, and I always was inclined to go talk to the Navy and the Air Force recruiters. And the reason being was because of the experience that I got watching Top Gun. You see, at that time I wanted to be a fighter pilot. I really did. And I was super close to signing up for either the Navy or the Air Force, because I knew once I graduated high school, I wanted to be a fighter pilot. I wanted to be the Top Gun dude. Needless to say, that dream quickly came to a halt after speaking with the Army recruiter. And he asked me what I wanted to do after high school, and I shared with him I was going into the military. I was going to be a fighter pilot. And he looked at me, and he just had this kind of weird look on his face. And he said, "Son, I've got some bad news." I'm like, "What do you mean you've got some bad news?" He said, "You'll never be able to fly a jet." He said, "I can put you in the biggest, baddest chopper that we've got." That's the Apache at that time. And I said, "Man, I don't want to fly a chopper. They're slow." I mean, I wanted to go fast. And he said, "I'm sorry, those recruiters are lying to you." So the reason I share that story, number one, because Top Gun Maverick, I'm seeing this Sunday with my family. 36 years ago, we watched the original Top Gun. Last month, I watched Top Gun for the first time, probably since since college. That was a long time ago. And even watching the original Top Gun, man, it just these wave of emotions took me back to when I was in high school, wanting and longing to be a Top Gun fighter pilot. And I began to think about movies in general and how impactful they are in our life. Some movies cause us to evaluate our life. Some movies we'll watch and it challenges us to look at life through a different lens, a different perspective. Maybe it helps us to realize and be grateful for the things that we have, because maybe we watch a movie and someone loses a loved one, and that's emotional to us, and we can relate because life is short and we're not guaranteed tomorrow. And so for me, that passion and love for movies, and especially action movies, really started a long time ago as a teenager. And I remember, after I got married, I was looking for another job. The job that I was at was it was a payphone manufacturer. Yeah, imagine that. So they were quickly going out of business. I didn't realize that, but I knew the company was in trouble. And so I began to look for other employment and found myself at Circuit City. I worked there for probably a year or two. Absolutely loved my time there. Got an opportunity to play with home theater gear. I was in the home theater department. I didn't want to be anywhere else. I didn't want to be in cell phones. I didn't want to be over in appliances. I wanted to be in home theater, and I was. And so I got to play with the cool new toys. You know, when they came out with the, was it mini disc? That you could record your CDs onto this kind of digital tape drive and be able to rearrange tracks for the first time. You know, you could kind of create your own mix CD per se, or mix tape, put this song up to the front or move this one down to the bottom or delete it. So I began to see this new technology come to life and got to experience several different brands. You know, Circuit City didn't have a ton of brands, but they had Polk Audio, they had Bose, they had Velodyne, and I was able to get a pretty nice home theater system. Back then didn't make hardly anything, so I had to save up quite a bit, but fortunately through the kind of like the rewards program, and part of our benefit of working at Circuit City is we were able to buy usually once a year from various manufacturers. We'd get this newsletter that said, hey, Polk Audio has their once a year 60% off sale. And so I was able to buy my Polk Audio system, 3 front speakers, 2 side surrounds for 60% off. I was able to buy a Velodyne CT100. It was only a 10-inch subwoofer with a 100-watt amplifier. And I was able to get it, it was probably like 40% off or 50% off. And then I was able to get all my cables from Monster Cable. That was a big push back then. And I was able to buy them for 75% off. And so for the first time, I was able to bring that movie theater experience to my living room, to experience that with my family. And from then forward, I continually began to kind of pursue this passion for home theater. Never in my wildest dreams would I have thought 25 years ago when Jessica and I first got married that I would ever have a dedicated theater room. You see, I thought dedicated theater rooms were for rich people. I thought that that was unattainable for me. And it wasn't until Jessica and I bought this home 15 years ago that it was her idea that, you know, maybe we should find a home that has a dedicated theater room, or at least a space that you could convert to a dedicated theater room. And that's exactly what we did. We bought our first home. It had a 13-foot by 19-foot, 10-foot ceiling, and at that time it was called a media room. Just a blank room, no closet, double sliding glass door on this side, a really long, elongated, narrow window up here on this side. And I looked at the room and I'm like, yeah, let's see if we can make this thing happen. And it was a process, and I actually took you through that entire process of what I consider my journey into home theater. And so if you're interested in that video, I've got a ton of photos. I mean, a ton of photos from my build, from where I started a long time ago. So if you're interested in checking out that video, I'll leave a link up here as well as in the description. But I've always had this love and this passion for movies, and it amazes me that as I see technology change, you know, now we're able to bring that massive, immersive, incredible sounding, gut-wrenching, you know, chest-pounding bass, all of that from our local cinema into our home. I think that's pretty incredible. In fact, I've dedicated my entire channel to home theater. I love inspiring you guys to do something in your home theater or in your home, whether it's a bedroom setup, a living room setup. I've seen guys do it in a 12 by 13 foot bedroom and have a killer 120-inch screen projection type setup in a bedroom. You never know it was even a bedroom. It's an incredible home theater experience. And I really believe that every one of us that are passionate about home theater, you can have a dedicated space. You can have somewhere in your home, whether it's that living room, the bonus room, garage, whatever. I've seen guys convert a shed into a home theater. That's awesome, man. Sometimes you just got to get a little creative. But I wanted to share this video because as I kind of prepare for going to see Top Gun, man, it took me back. There's some nostalgia there that I just look back and go, that was probably the most significant movie that propelled my love and my passion for home theater. And I cannot wait to go see Top Gun Maverick this Sunday. Let me know down in the comments the movie that has the most significant influence in your love and passion for home theater. And if you enjoy all things home theater, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. And as always, you guys be blessed, and we'll catch you in the next video.